Good evening, folks. Welcome to California. Welcome to just east of Los Angeles, Irwindale Speedway for round number 8 of the Crooked Line Racing Modified Series, sponsored by Maconi Setup Shop and MF Racing Designs. Maconi Setup Shop, your go-to people for anything oval racing, and MF Racing Designs, anything that needs to be looking pretty in iRacing, you can go to them and get it done. The Irwindale Speedway is a half-mile oval. It is a very short track with a long sweeping turns and very short straightaways. The pit entries and exit are on the backstretch. The entry is right before we go into turn 3, and the pit exit is right when we come out of turn number 2. So it makes for a very long pit road. The pits actually go through the turns 1 and 2. You'll see that during the race. The ambient temperature tonight here is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. We have a 55% relative humidity, cloudy skies, and 2-mile-an-hour winds. That's not going to hurt anybody. The track temperature is 108 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes for maybe somewhat slippery conditions here tonight. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out, and we'll talk to some drivers to see what it feels like tonight. All right, folks, the championship series is well underway, and it looks like we have Dalton Williamson still leading the points with 236 points. AJ Rogers is in the second position with 224 points. Then it's Brad Ringer moving up to the third position with 205. Tommy Dunn 204. Jason Day 193. Michael Ciccone 185. Timothy Trowbridge 182. Brian Bianchi moving himself into the top 10 with a win last week with 173 points. Then it's Trevor Vogel 145, and Greg Smith rounds out your top 10 with 148 points. Now, as you know, the winner of the previous week will have to start in the back, so that honor tonight is for Bianchi. He will have to start in the back. We've been looking at him in qualifying for a bit, and it looks like he is doing a pretty good job here tonight. He is currently sitting in the pits there in that number 14 car. As you can see on the left side of your screen, we have, it looks like 17 drivers that have posted a time, one of which is Tanner Marr, that will not be driving, obviously, and I'm fairly sure that Brandon Mettler will not be driving either. It looks to me like he is in race control tonight, together with Tanner and Scotty Stevens. All right, it looks like Timothy Trowbridge, the 74 driver that did very well last night in his first super late model outing, also run by Crooked Line Racing. He is doing very well here tonight. He is the fastest man in qualifying with a 17.643, and as you can see going through the order here, it looks like we have everybody within 0.6 of a second, and that, once again, folks, is amazingly close. And obviously it's a short track, so that brings it a little bit closer. But still, it means that we're going to have a battle on our hands here tonight for sure. Brad Ringer in the number 76 car in 6th position. Every once in a while, we'll see some drivers stepping out that back end a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit tricky coming off the turns tonight, and that may have something to do with the high track temperatures. Here you have Tommy Dunn in the 63 machine, slip sliding around a little bit there, and Zach Murphy is behind him there in the 29 car. And Jason Day is also on track in the 52. Looks like he's got monster livery on there. And Dalton Williamson, your championship leader in the number 1 car, he is currently in the 4th position. It looks like practice is ticking away here for us, folks. We are going to be going into qualifying. As you know, they'll be doing 2 laps individually. That means the drivers are on track by themselves. And luckily, we can pick up anybody that is actually on track and being active, so we can try and show you the best moments of that qualifying session. It looks like practice has gotten the checkered flag, and that means we are moving on to the qualifying right as we speak. Oops, wrong button there. It looks like Dalton Williamson is the first car on the track. He carries that number 1 with pride. Bringing it out here and hoping for a good qualifying time. Obviously, he is always one of the drivers that we can see up front here. And he's going way below the white line there onto the apron to try and make the distance as short as possible. Once again here in turn 1 and 2, his first lap. Ooh, slip slides a little bit with the back end there. First lap is a 17.635. And it looks like his second lap was no improvement. Actually, 0.4 of a second slower. And that leaves him in first position. Let me see. I gotta really quickly reload scoring because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. There we are. That shows us the times that have been set so far. It looks like Tommy Dunn is the final driver that has scored a time. Brian Bianchi is on track, but obviously his time will be disallowed, and he will be starting in the back. Tommy Dunn has pushed himself up into the second position with that being overtaken right as we speak by AJ Rogers. There's AJ. We know he is always a strong contender in this series. He's had 2 wins already and had to start from the back, work his way up through the field very strongly, so always somebody to reckon with here. Brian Bianchi is running the what is now being the 9th time. Frank Barbary is still out on track there. It looks like he has finished his attempt without a time so far. And we're waiting on Chris Frantz to come out in the 73 machine. There he is. Let's see what he can do here tonight. One of the recent additions to the series. And we're also still waiting for Trowbridge to come out and play. He is waiting on pit road there. Trevor Vogel is also out there. And he has had 1 lap in, and that was a 17.974 in 7th position. Chris Frantz has put his first lap. Ooh, his first lap was disallowed. His second lap is an 18.185, and that puts him on the final spot here for the moment. Trevor Vogel on his final run here. And let's see if he can improve that first lap. And it does not look like he has gotten that second lap counted. Let's take a look here at Trowbridge. He is out on track now. First lap was disallowed. Second lap was a 17.677. That pushes him up to the front row position there, folks. We have Frank Barbary getting ready to roll. He still has not put in a qualifying time. We're looking at 4 minutes already, so I'm not sure if he is going to be going out there. And Trowbridge is running some extra practice laps there. Barbary still waiting on pit road. Let's go and see if we can find some people to talk to. Tanner Marr is obviously here. He is our pit reporter again for tonight. Tanner, good to see you, man. How's it going down there?
Mark, it's going good, buddy. I'm Excited for tonight's race. We actually got a new guy building our setups, and Trevor Edwards. He builds the SK setups for McConey Setup Shop. So he's basically going to finish out our season for us. He gave us a really good setup tonight. The field size is a little bit small. I had about 5 to 6 guys message me saying they wasn't going to be able to make it this week due to special events and then Christmas holidays coming up. But I think we're in for a treat up here, Mark.
All right, that sounds pretty good to me. And field size doesn't always mean that we won't have a good race. For sure, we can have a lot of fun with a lot less people if we just do it right. I'm still looking at Barbary standing there on pit road, and he hasn't been out. Do you have any idea what his problem is there?
Yes, sir, Mark. So Frank actually came over voice comms and said that he lost it on both laps. So if you get any incident points whatsoever, it will not count your qualifying lap. iRacing will disqualify it. So he's going to be starting in the back along with last week's winner Zach Murphy.
All right, it didn't even register that he went out here on my scoring, so that explains everything. All right, folks, let's take a little chat here with championship leader Dalton Williamson, who is currently on the pole position as well. Dalton, how's it going tonight? How does the track feel, and what do you think of the setup?
Good, man. Like Tanner and all these guys were saying, dude, this is probably the best setup we've had all year, in my opinion. Trevor did an excellent job on it, and I'm looking forward to driving it. Track's real fun. Like I said, the setup, man, kind of makes the track even more fun than what this place normally is. Normally, it's a one groove track, but I think the way the car is set up tonight, you're going to see possibly all 3 grooves get used.
Whoa, 3 of them, no less. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting.
All right, Dalton, you're leading the championship. Your game plan is obviously you probably are thinking at every race a little bit more in being a part of your championship aspirations here. What is your game plan for tonight, and how does that fit into your long term idea of staying up top there?
Like I said previous weeks, man, I'm just going to try to keep my nose clean, keep the tires underneath it, and try to stay out front or get to the front. Like I say every week.
It's basically the same plan. Go as fast as you need to win, right?
Pretty much.
Now you guys have 2 tire sets to play with. Are you going to be needing both of those?
To be honest, it's kind of up in the air because there's new tire in this car. The other night when I ran a league, we never took tires, but I noticed the tires wore more than what the old tires did. But like I said in that interview, and I might get in trouble for saying this, it's kind of the opposite of the old tire. Instead of the heat mattering, it's more of the wear mattering instead of the heat. It's kind of backwards.
So has the model been changed recently, or have you guys been on that newer model for a while?
It was just changed. I want to say, maybe somebody in here can help me. I want to say last Thursday. I want to say.
Okay, so on the new build.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so you guys are just getting used to this new tire model then.
Indeed.
Okay, all right. It looks like you got the league has tuned the fuel percentage down to 40% capacity. Is your fuel going to be plenty for the race, or do you guys are you guys looking at a splash for the distance?
If we go green, I think we'll have to put fuel in it. I want to say, as I find that long enough run to say. But if we get a yellow, I think we'll be good.
All right. All right. Well, Dalton, we wish you the best of luck, my friend. You have something to lose here. You're up top on the championship, so make sure you don't do that.
I'm going to try.
All right. Thank you, bud. And before I don't want to forget, I want to give you the opportunity to give a shout out to anybody you want to talk to, want to let you know that that you appreciate them, sir.
Like I said every week, man, Tanner, all the admin in here, you for broadcasting, all the guys that come out here and run, man, everybody that knows me. It's been a fun year. So being in here and all the other leagues that they see me in, as far as sponsors, BK Paints, Platinum RV Services, and then all the guys in Rev Sports, Tim, Don, and the list goes on. I can't name them all. I'll be here forever. But
Okay.
other than that, not much, man.
All right. Thanks very much, Dalton, and good luck, man. Let's move on to Timothy Trowbridge here. Timothy is, let me see, two for your seventh in the championship at this point. You had a bit of a slow start, I believe, climbing up into the points, Timothy. So, what's your game plan for tonight, and how does the track and setup feel for you?
Yeah, we had an issue. I think it was the second race of the year. We actually missed out with an iRacing glitch that caused us to miss the show. So we're just trying to keep up and try and chase down Dalton. We're gonna have to do it slowly, one race at a time. Uh, Race is gonna be fun. I got in early enough. I did a nice long run, so I might have a little info these guys don't have. I was able to do a full tank run, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so are you like Dalton, thinking that this will be a multi-groove track tonight with the setup that you guys have been given?
Or especially like he was talking about the new tire model being on this car. It's really going to reward those that take it a little easy at the beginning, but at the same time, it's fast enough now. You might even be able to pull a gap and see if you can maintain it.
Okay, so the switch to the new tire model, has that been an issue for you, or is it something that that isn't that much of a problem?
Oh, I really love the new tire model. I think I'm one of few. There are some cars it doesn't work on, but a lot of the cars I've ran it with, they're a lot of fun. Like I said, you have to relearn basically every car, and you have to change your tendencies and actually think long term.
Absolutely, and that is most definitely true what you're saying there. We've had been on that new tire model in the Formula Renault on the road courses for quite some time, but I totally agree with you. We really had to relearn a lot of stuff. It feels a lot less snappy, and it feels like you have a lot more control, especially coming off the turns on the throttle with these open wheel cars. How is that for you guys?
Oh, you definitely you felt it the first couple laps here at Irwindale. What's really cool, and just like I think Tanner had mentioned, the setup on this car feels phenomenal. And I was doing long enough run that I was trying some different grooves, and you can even rip the fence in this thing, and it's just super exciting, and really looking forward to tonight.
All right, Timothy. Well, we wish you the best of luck as well, obviously. Any shout outs you want to do before I let you go back to your car?
I'm gonna say very similar to what Dalton said. Got to give a shout out to you guys in the broadcast booth, always making us look good, even if it's not always great. Crooked Line, got to give a shout to Tanner. Put on a heck of a league. Got a bunch of really good guys in here. Family and friends. Got to give a shout to my girlfriend. Let me run yet again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then all the guys on the car. Timeless Engineering Design, Searchlight Simulations, and Checkers or Wreckers.
All right, thank you, Timothy. With all those nights she lets you race, you would think she has an alternate motive there. Not trying to start something. All right, let's move on to Trevor there. Trevor, you have been complimented by both the other drivers on the setup that you've created for this race here tonight. If I would ask you, how does the setup feel? I'm sure you're pretty content with it because you've built it up there. How was your experience with that new tire model?
I haven't done any races over probably about 40 laps on the new tire model for the modifieds. I've done the supers, of course, but the way it wears and all that stuff, like you said, it will reward those people that aren't just hot lappers, and that's what I like about this build.
Okay, that is a very clear statement, and it's obviously gonna reward the guys that are taking it a little bit easy. So that kind of tells me already the answer to the question of what is Trevor's game plan for tonight.
Survive the first 50 laps, and then we'll race the last 50.
I hear you. All right, Trevor, you're a new addition to the series, fairly new, I would say. How is your what is your hopes for the championship? Do you still think you can make it up into the top 10 there?
Honestly, I don't even know what race we're on or how many we have left or anything. I'm just kind of here for fun. I just
Okay.
needed a league to have fun in. Every other league I run is so serious. Need a break every now and then.
All right, I hear you, man. It's not always about winning championships. It's still sometimes it's just simply about having a good time. So I hope you're having a good time. We sure are. And you do a lot of setups for the Maconi Setup Shop. You told me once. Are you specialized in certain cars, or do you basically try your best luck at anything?
Well, I will build anything on the short tracks, but the way we have it set up, there's a builder for each car specifically. So what I do is I do the SKs and the tour mods for this season, and then any leagues or custom setups that people would like to purchase, they just put in a request. I'll build one for them.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So people can get in touch with you guys and say, "Hey, I'm racing such and such track here in this and this car. Can you build me something?"
Yeah.
And does that request include like, "Hey, I like my cars a little bit oversteery. I like my cars a little bit tight." Is that all stuff you guys can work out for them?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, my driving style is going to be different than other people's, and even if we sell a setup for the week or anything like that, if you have questions, we have a Discord. You join it, put it in there, tag somebody in it, message them privately. Doesn't matter. We'll help you out, get you set up, because not every setup fits everybody perfectly. You might do some little bit of adjusting and pick up some time that way too.
Absolutely, and obviously that is one of the I guess disadvantages of a fixed league, a fixed setup league. So the setup really has to be something that can be drivable for the top guys, but also for the lesser gods. Is that hard for you to do when you work on something like that?
Yeah, so like when I do a setup for like this league per se, I tried testing the top, the bottom, the middle, trying to make something that's comparable. So you pick the gear that you would think would kind of even out each lane. And you also want it to not be tight or like super loose either, but you want it to where you have to drive it where people can make mistakes, give you an opportunity to pass. You don't want something that's just so stuck to the ground that you should be following each other all night long.
I hear you. So obviously you don't want something that is kind of snapping away from people.
A lot of people hate loose setups, and I hate tight setups. A lot of people hate loose setups, so I try to find something like right there in the middle where you still have to drive it.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's a science in itself. I mean, I try my luck at setups a little bit, and I can alter the setups that I get from VRS or whatever a little bit to my liking, but I'm definitely not a professional like you are. Interesting to hear, Trevor. And as Maconi Setup Shop is sponsoring this race, can you give us a little bit more information about how and where they can get in touch? Is there a Facebook page, a Discord channel? Where can they find you guys?
We have a Discord. That's where all our communication really goes on. A lot of our promotions, we do promotions almost every week where you get free setups or free season setups or just anything like that. We got over 1,600 likes on our Facebook page. So just look up Maconi Setup Shop LLC on Facebook. It's the only limited liability corporation setup shop on iRacing right now. So
All right. You guys have a lot of competition on the oval short track oval side of things, or are you guys the market leader?
I believe that, I mean, I think we're probably one of the top shops. There's two or three of us that are pretty close. I think we have the best modified setups, but I'm biased because I build them.
All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty there, Trevor. Trevor, we wish you the best of luck for the race. Any other shout outs you want to do before I let you go back to your machine?
I want to say thanks, Maconi Setup Shop, for being here and Sensei Pilot Cars.
All right. Thank you very much, Trevor. Good luck, man. We might be talking to you at the end of the race there.
Hope I meet you back same spot here in about an hour. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. All right, Tanner. We've heard from the top three qualifiers here. It looks like the new tire model is getting some approval here. It definitely sounds like people needed to do a little bit adjusting on their part to make it work for them. What was your experience? I've seen you out on track in practice.
Yeah, so the whole reason why I went out there, I tried to get a feel to see what the guys are going to be driving on, and I made mention during the practice time that although I've liked all the setups so far, I really, really like this one tonight. I mean, Trevor gave these boys a piece where it's not too tight, it's not too loose, and credit to him, man, because iRacing sprung that new tire model on us last week. And I know you don't race in the super late models or the late models very much, but when they introduced a new tire model to them, it drastically changed that car. So I don't run too many open setup races in these modifieds or the SK modifieds, so I don't know the changes that really went into it. But I can tell you the car feels great. I mean, iRacing normally when they implement a new tire, you get people 50-50. They either love it or they hate it, and so far I love it. So kudos to them, and I'm just I'm excited, man, for this race right here. And like Dalton Williams said, I think it was, we're going to have multiple grooves. Usually, Irwindale is it's a track where you ride up near the wall, but with these practice times, you're not getting in the 17.7s without dipping down really, really low. So I think we're going to see some dirt racing tactics come in here, and what I mean by that is slide jobs and whatnot. So should be a good race, Mark. I think we got about 10 seconds or so before they go to grid. I just want to say thank you to McConey Setup Shop, MF Racing Designs, and Trevor Edwards. Thank you for coming on board and helping out with Crooked Line Racing Fixed Setup League.
All right, Tanner, you're absolutely right, man. We have timed this absolutely perfect. The guys are going to be gritting up here anytime soon. Let's see if we can find anybody there. Yeah, there's Dalton Williamson. He is your pole sitter. Alongside him, it will be Timothy Trowbridge. There he is. Then it's going to be Trevor Edwards and AJ Rogers on the second row. It's going to be Zach Murphy and Christian Pittman, a new addition to the series, on the third row. On the fourth row, we have Tommy Dunn, Trevor Vogel. On the fifth row, we have Jason Day and Rex Hoyle. Then we have Brian Bianchi and Brad Ringer. I think Bianchi is going to be moved to the final spot because he was last week's winner, obviously. Then we have Chris Franz, Brandon Mettler. Tanner Marr is not starting. I believe Brandon Mettler is not starting either. Scotty Stevens is also in the race admin booth. And Frank Barbary is your final starter. We heard Tanner explain that Frank had told us that he had messed up both the laps. And as said, folks, you have to have clean laps on iRacing. You cannot bounce off walls or take shortcuts or cut corners or whatnot. They have to be clean. They have to be perfect on-track laps, and that's the way you can make your time be qualified or counting for qualifying. So there you have the field, folks. It's not a huge field tonight. We have 14 cars on track. That is not going to spoil the fun. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a pretty good show, because if you take the attention to look at the time difference of the qualifying times, these guys were all within 0.6 of a second on qualifying. That is the 13 that put in a time, and that is a very, very close field despite it being a very short track. I think that is that shows that the quality here is pretty good, and that everybody can handle this car with the setup that's been given to them by McConey Setup Shop, Trevor Edwards in particular. Trevor has made that setup, and he is in third position, telling us that basically he is not in any advantage here. As far as the setup is concerned, he has made something that works well for everybody. And we definitely do appreciate that. It makes for very fun and cool and close racing. And we've seen some pretty good races with the SK Modified so far already. This is round number 8 in the championship, folks. We are looking at the number 1 driver, Dalton Williamson in the number 1 car. He is the one that is defending the leading position in the championship. Cars are going around twice before we get the green flag here tonight. You can see the field lining them up side by side here. Trowbridge on the outside, then on the second row, Rogers and Edwards. Rogers on the high side, Edwards on the low side. We have one car that's blinking out a little bit, but I hope we'll be all right here. Connections can always be a little bit of an issue with anything internet-based, obviously. And we see the number 14 of Brian Bianchi in 9th position. Tanner, isn't he supposed to start in the back?
It was Zach Murphy, Mark. Zach Murphy won last week. Remember, he started back, came up through on the high lane.
I must have looked at the wrong race then. I'm sorry.
Good, buddy.
All right.
Good, but you do a lot of races in a week, I know.
Oh, man, I work 7 nights a week. So I apologize, folks. It was Zach Murphy that had to start in the back, and he is actually starting in the back. Let's give him a little bit of airtime there in that number 29 car. He is still running in the back of the pack there. He is going to have to work his way forward, so I apologize for that mistake here. I probably looked at the wrong race in the wrong series. Dalton Williamson is still leading the pack here with Trowbridge right behind him, and Edwards trying to go underneath. We're already seeing these guys in multiple race grooves here, and now they're slotting in single file with the 17 of AJ Rogers going to the inside. It looks like Timothy Trowbridge is currently the quickest. No, it's Jason Day that's actually setting the quickest time, 18 seconds flat. He is currently in 8th position, so you can tell by the fact that several drivers stole away that quickest lap time in the same lap from each other. That tells you how close it actually is. Trowbridge now bringing it under 18 seconds. Ooh, it looks like Timothy scraped the wall there a little bit, and that allows Williamson a little gap. It looks like that we have Edwards once again trying a little bit lower line there. He is trying to challenge Trowbridge. Let's go a little bit further back. Pittman in that number 8 car is hanging with these guys extremely well. Then it's AJ Rogers. Look at that. There is just simply no gap in between anything. We see the 29 of Zach Murphy that went way low there, trying to improve some positions. And he is making that work for him pretty nicely. He has picked up 2 positions since the start of the race. And there he goes on that apron even like they did in qualifying. It doesn't seem to help him all that much right now, but he's just trying out something, because if he doesn't try out something, he's going to be... Ooh, and then he slides up into that, believe that was Chris France, or maybe Rex Hoyle that he slid up into. The 54, we are not going yellow, folks. Let's bring that back for you real quickly. You see the 29 coming off the turn there. Oh, it was actually a turn later, I think. Didn't go back far enough. But you can see that Zach Murphy is trying different lines there to just find openings to work his way forward. Let's move on up to the front of the pack there, where we see Trowbridge doing the same thing. He is going down underneath there to try something different, because you can stay single file all race long, and obviously then nothing's going to happen. So the multi-groove idea that we talked about earlier is definitely already showing here. Trowbridge looks like he is pushing ahead and nosing ahead of Dalton. Dalton still has it at the line though. Down underneath there, going into the turns works well on the lower side. Coming off of the turn works better on the higher side, although it does look like Timothy has put that car ahead of Dalton Williamson, who is now going to try the same thing that Timothy tried on him. And we see that blue car, the number 8 of Christian Pittman, that is trying the same thing. He's actually going way down low here. See if that works. And it doesn't work all that bad, really. He gets alongside and stays to the bottom of Edwards. We see Brian Bianchi doing the same thing a little bit further back. He is alongside Trevor Vogel in the number 13. So the 14 ahead of the 13, and then it is, I believe, Brad Ringer that is behind him in the 76 car. Let's close him up a little bit. Yes, there he is. Trowbridge still in front, pulling a car length on Dalton Williamson. Then it's Pittman in third. He has slotted back in single file. Trevor Edwards in the 4th position. It's AJ Rogers and Tommy Dunn, and they are the top 6 drivers there. Jason Day in 7th, Bianchi in 8th. Vogel in 9th, and Zach Murphy pushing hard to get into the top 10 there. He is working really hard on Brad Ringer. Zach is trying that bottom line once again. And it seems like the field is stretching out a little bit now. Trevor Vogel having, ooh, there goes the 76 around. Bouncing off the wall. Let's find out what happened here. And it looks like 3 wide just didn't work there. The 76 came down where the 74 already was, and then it is Chris Franz that runs into him as he bounces off the wall. The blue car, that is Chris Franz. It's happening ahead of him, and he just basically has no place to go. All right, so Brad Ringer, Chris Franz involved in that incident there. Tanner, what's the word on pit road?
Well, I haven't heard much communication between the drivers, Mark, but Brad, this is Tanner and Mark up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So from hearing Mark's commentary, I missed the wreck on my side of things, but I saw you smoking pretty bad. What'd you see from your vantage point?
Yeah, I've been trying to hold that high line, just kind of bide my time, save my tires, and guy in front of me seemed like kind of checked up. I may have moved half a lane low, and I had someone underneath me running that dive bomb move. So, racing deal. We'll just keep plugging along.
Buddy, we'll get you sent back over to your race channel. Want to say good luck, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end, Brad.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Mark.
All right, thank you very much, Tanner. Thank you very much, Brad. Obviously, he was not aware of the 54 of where is he? Rex Hoyle being underneath him there, and he was trying to make something work on that middle line, and obviously they touched, and that was pretty much all she wrote. He is back out there. Meanwhile, we have seen a lot of drivers on pit road that has shuffled the field completely. It looks like Brian Bianchi is one of the five drivers, that stayed out. Bianchi, Murphy, Vogel, Hoyle, and Barbary have stayed out. The first one that went to the pits and came out ahead of everybody else was Trevor Edwards, who had a very good pit stop there on lap number 19 that brings him out in front of Trowbridge. Williamson then in 8th, Pittman is in 9th, and Tommy Dunn is in 10th. So everybody further down from 6th down have pitted. The first 5 drivers have not pitted. It looks like the pace car is turning off the lights there, and we are getting ready to go back to racing. Brian Bianchi is opting for the high line. That makes a lot of sense, obviously, on this track here. Zach Murphy, who started in the final position because of his win last week. And again, I apologize to Zach, especially because I should have known better. But he is up in the front there now. So he is going to try and make something work here.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. We're racing once again. Brian has a pretty good start, pulls ahead of Zach Murphy. Behind him there, it's Rex Hoyle and Trevor Vogel. Actually, Vogel is slotting in 4th position with Trevor Edwards already pushing hard on the higher side. Vogel going very, very low here, trying that bottom line, and it doesn't seem, well, it actually keeps him ahead of Edwards. Edwards coming along in the turn here. He still has to slot in. Oh, we have another one. Let's see what has happened. It looked like it may have been Dalton Williamson. No. Let me see if I can find what's happening here. Oh, that looks like Frank Barbary getting in trouble here. Let's bring it back from a little bit wider angle and see what, a little bit further back maybe. Let's see what's happening here. He's on the high side, and he actually washes into that divider where the track exit is, and then climbs the wall. It doesn't look like his damage is too bad, so hopefully he can keep going. Frank Barbary is down in 11th position. Tanner, any word from Frank?
I haven't heard from Frank, but I don't know if you noticed it or not on the broadcast, but that initial wreck started whenever AJ Rogers, he kind of clipped Jason Day just racing hard. I don't know why the yellow didn't come out, but we actually have AJ Rogers up in the booth right now. AJ, you got a copy?
10-4. How are y'all?
We're doing good right now, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm a little mad at myself for that. Getting into my buddy Jason and wrecking, spinning like an idiot. So we got a lot of work to do. I still got a lot of laps. Should have stayed out with the tires, but is what it is. I was following everybody else, but we'll see what happens.
I know we were actually talking about how we seen a bunch of people choose to go down pit road. Was it for tires or was it more for fuel?
For tires for me and fuel, enough to run the race. Yeah, it was
10-4. I'll get you back over to your race channel, AJ. Thank you for coming and talk to us. Just
no
friendly
problem,
reminder, we got a competition caution coming at lap 50. Good luck, buddy.
10-4.
Mark, we'll send it back to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Tanner, and thank you very much, AJ. I brought it back, the incident there in the replay real quickly, and it was just one of those things, and you heard him talk about it. We still have the same guys up there in the front. Brian Bianchi is still your leader. Zach Murphy in second. Rex Hoyle, then Trevor Vogel. And it looks like we now have the top 4 that are the guys that stayed out and did not pit. Trevor Edwards is in 5th position. He's the first of the drivers that has pitted. And it looks like the race control is keeping us on single file here on the restart. Actually, no, they're not. We're going double file. And let me see, are we missing somebody there? Something isn't right. Vogel should be on the inside alongside the 54, I believe. Well, maybe that is Trevor Edwards then. All right, we're back to racing. I'll let race control sort all that out, folks. That's not something I can do anything about anyway. So Brian Bianchi has a good start once again. It is Zach Murphy in 2nd position. He runs a very high line there. It looks like Trevor Edwards is trying to get underneath Rex Hoyle, and he is bringing along Pittman on that bottom there. Side by side still as they cross the line going into lap number 31. Trevor Edwards is not having an easy time doing that pass on the 54. It looks like he is equally fast on that other line. Hopefully he doesn't eat up his tires that way. It looks like Pittman is running the same line as Edwards and just as quick at it. Then we have Dalton Williamson in the number 6 position and Trowbridge in the 7th position. Let's bring. Ooh, it looks like they're all getting pretty racy there. 3 wide turn through turn 3 and 4. Zach Murphy trying that lower side to pick up the lead from Bianchi, and it looks like he is making this work. Look at that, way down on the apron, the shorter distance, and he gets way out in front there. But as you can see, Brian Bianchi comes off the turn pretty good and almost touches the back bumper of that 29. Trevor Edwards doing the same thing right now. Pittman also on that bottom line. Bianchi down in 3rd position from the lead. So Edwards and Murphy have made that bottom line work, and Pittman's doing the exact same thing there. Look at that, way down low coming underneath Edwards. And we can see Williamson trying to do the same thing there in the number 1 car, coming underneath the 14 now. Well, not quite. He is alongside the 54. Zach Murphy is leading the race with Pittman trying to put pressure on him now on the bottom end. There goes the number 8, almost, well, he's staying off the apron right now, but he gets a little bit loose, it looks like, on the exit of the turn. He can't quite get underneath Zach Murphy just yet. The car on the bottom there, that is Dalton Williamson. He is dealing with Bianchi. Bianchi runs into the wall there on the outside and has to let Rex Hoyle get underneath him as well. Then we see Timothy Trowbridge in that purple car also underneath there. We have a major battle going on here, folks. Pittman and Murphy for the lead, and then a whole bunch of guys for the 3rd and down there. It looks like Dalton Williamson has picked up 4th now. He has made that work. He at the cost of Rex Hoyle. Ooh, that looks like we have Trowbridge going around here. Let's see what happened. Ooh, it's Trowbridge and Bianchi. Bianchi actually running into that divider there. It's a good thing that that's not the real crash, because that would have been a major nasty crash. The 74 and the 14 there, Bianchi and Trowbridge. Tanner, what's the word?
So, I'll be honest, Mark, I missed that one too. There's so much action going on through the field, so I'm jumping from lane to lane trying to figure out what I need to watch. As far as that last restart, I don't know if that was an iRacing scoring glitch or what, but in my mind, I thought Vogel was supposed to be up front too. But anyways, we have Trowbridge up in the booth right now. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So with that crash happening coming to lap 40, race control has decided that It's going to be the competition caution. Have you already took your tires or whatnot?
Sure, just came in to top off on fuel.
10-4, how you liking your chances so far?
Oh, it's tight field, that's for sure.
I know. I'm sitting here watching. Was you you were actually involved in that wreck? How did you see it from your point of view?
It's just so tough to pass, and nobody wants to give an inch. And I think Brian and I we kind of met at the top side going into one.
I got you. I know Brian started on the front row there, and I don't think he took his tires, so he was probably a little bit slower. So he's just fighting for everything he can for any track position because it is hard to pass. Timothy, we'll get you sent back up to your race control channel, and we'll send it back to you, Mark. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Tanner. And we looked at the replay there. It looked like they were fighting for position pretty closely there, and it looked like there was a slight touch that caused Bianchi to move up a little bit and then touch that divider where the exit of the track is. So that's kind of what threw him up in the air there. We are looking at AJ Rogers. He has, I'm not sure if he is actually pitted. I don't believe so. He's on that bottom line, and it kind of throws off scoring, but that's okay. We'll figure it all out. Looks like Bianchi is on pit road there getting new tires, and he is back on his way. So he's moving once again. So let me see here. Zach Murphy has gone to the pits, and he has lost his lead, obviously. He is now in 9th position. Christian Pittman, one of the guys that pitted on lap 19, he is now in the lead, and he is in front of Trevor Edwards, Dalton Williamson, and Jason Day. And Brad Ringer is also there, AJ Rogers, and then Barbary and the guys further down have pitted later than the 6 leaders. So Rex Hoyle and Murphy and Dunn, Trowbridge, they have all pitted just this caution period. And it looks like we're getting ready to go, going into lap number 45. It is Christian Pittman that takes the lead in front of Edwards. A little bit of a hiccup here. There you have Edwards in 2nd position. Dalton Williamson is right on his tail. Oh, we have another one. Let's go and find out what has happened. It looks like Tommy Dunn is involved. That is Murphy and the 54 of Rex Hoyle coming together. Ooh, let's see here if we can bring that back a little bit wider angle, please. A little bit further back. Keep an eye on midfield, the orange and white car of Murphy. There you have him. It looks like they're both on the outside line, and one of them is slipping up a little bit, washing up just a little bit. There's nothing you can do at that point. You're just basically making each other a passenger there. All right, several other cars obviously caught up in that there. Tanner, any word from Zach or the 54 Rex Hoyle?
Yeah, Mark, there was some commentary that really can't be quoted. I had to just come over and tell drivers to calm it down a little bit. So I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail. We have some really good racing going on, so I'm expecting to see some incidents because, man, everybody's so close on the speed, aren't they?
Absolutely, they are very close on speed, and they're all on that high line where there's not much room for error, because once you wash up into that wall, you're going to bounce off, and that's kind of what we saw happening between Bianchi and Timothy, and that was also kind of what we saw happening there between Zach and the 54 of Rex Hoyle. So, yeah, if they're up close by the wall there, that is going to make it a little bit hard.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'll be honest. I have not been very good at catching the wrecks tonight. Normally, I catch about 50% of them. Everywhere I'm looking, though, it's been pretty clean. So I really don't know what happened there, but I know Mr. Zach Murphy in the 29 was not happy right then.
Yeah, I believe it was the 54 that washed up a little bit more than he anticipated and kind of pinched Zach into the wall there, and you know, yeah, I don't know. That's just one of those racing deals where you're both trying to go for the same real estate, and at the point where Rex's car washes up, there's nothing much he can do to correct that.
Yeah, what they got to do to pass here down low. They got to drive it in so hard and just wash up the track in front of them and just hope and pray they clear them. So race control just made a decision. Rex Hoyle 54 was just granted an EOL penalty. So I guess they found that Rex was at fault the same way you saw it.
All right, thank you for that information. And it looks like we have lost Chris France. He went to the pits. We saw him get out of the race. He was 4 laps down at that point, 3 laps at that point, and he has left the race. Let's focus on the restart here. The pace car has gone in. We're going through turn 3 and 4, and then it'll be up to Pittman to get this thing back underway. There he goes. Very good response behind him there from Trevor Edwards. Very close behind him. And as you can see, Trevor washing up a little bit higher there. And in single file, it looks like things are going pretty nicely here now. There we see further down the field, Zach Murphy going down underneath, going to the bottom, and it didn't really help him because he's actually dropped a spot compared to Barbary and Trowbridge. So his tires need to be coming in probably. Again, the 29 deep down underneath on the apron, trying to make something happen. Now he gets alongside Timothy Trowbridge. That is for 8th and 9th position. Pittman is actually pulling the fastest lap of the race with a 17.89, and he is pulling away by about 0.3 of a second from Trevor Edwards in 2nd position. Then it's Dalton Williamson in 3rd, and Jason Day in the 52 is in the 4th position, right there behind Dalton Williamson. Then it's Brad Ringer and AJ Rogers, and as you can see, folks, the field is a little bit more stretched out thanks to that single file restart. Here's Brian Bianchi with Timothy Trowbridge now right behind him, and Zach Murphy still trying very hard. He is staying on the higher side now. I think he's starting to figure out that that lower side is eating up his tires a little bit. Timothy is trying again underneath the 14 of Brian Bianchi, and he is still alongside. He cannot make it stick because Bianchi has a way better run off the turn there on that high side. But he is very fast going in, and once he can slot in front of Bianchi, as you see happening there, that's when he gets the position. Zach Murphy is trying to do the exact same thing here, and it looks like he can make it stick. There is Zach Murphy picking up 8th position. Let's bring you back up to the front here real quick. Christian Pittman is pulling away from Edwards by a little bit per lap. He is now 0.4 of a second clear of Trevor Edwards. Dalton Williamson has about the same distance between Edwards and himself, and then it's Jason Day with 0.3 of a second. Brad Ringer also about the same. It's about a car length, I would say. And then in 7th position, it is Trowbridge going after AJ Rogers in that number 17 machine. The orange and blue car is hanging on there in 6th position. Timothy has about 0.8 of a second to make up. Zach Murphy has about 0.7 of a second to make up, and it looks like Brian Bianchi is sticking with him quite well. Trevor Vogel trying to make up for lost ground as well. Tommy Dunn in the 11th position, Barbary in the 12th position, and it looks like Rex Hoyle is our final running car here in 13th position. He is kind of by himself here. Pittman is looks like he is getting reeled in by the pursuers there. Trevor Edwards now picked up another 0.1 of a second, and it looks like he is closing in on the number 8 car. Obviously, tire wear. It's just like Trevor and Dalton said at the beginning, you're going to have to take it a little easy on the first part of the stints and make sure you got something left at the final parts of the stints. And it looks to me that Edwards is really just basically trying to follow that blue number 8 machine, not putting too much pressure on him, but obviously making sure that the number 8 knows he's there. Jason Day there in 4th position in that 52. Brad Ringer in the 76, leading AJ Rogers, and Trowbridge has picked up. He has closed the gap to the cars in front of him, so he is moving along. He is now trying to come underneath AJ Rogers. Not quite close enough, but he's trying that lower side once again. And at the exit of the turn, you see the 17 get a little bit more speed coming off the turn, staying ahead of the 74 so far. Murphy also closing in there in 8th position. Trowbridge has to settle for the 7th position behind AJ at this point. You can tell that some of the drivers are switching a little bit between that higher line and that lower line. They're just trying to make something work. That lower line seems to be the way to go going into the turn, and then it still isn't good enough to come off the turn. Trowbridge now putting more and more pressure under AJ Rogers there, and now he's slotting in front there, pushing the 17 into the wall. I don't believe they really touched, but the 17 had no alternative. He had to take the high line and touch the wall. It looks like Zach Murphy is trying the exact same thing here, but AJ is not damaged, it looks like, and he can stay on the same pace. He is giving AJ the room he needs, and Zach is giving AJ the room he needs there, it looks like, and Zach is still ahead. And then on the higher side, the 17 comes back at him again. You can see them in scoring there, just flipping positions constantly. It looks like Timothy Trowbridge is catching up with the 76 of Brad Ringer. Trying the same thing once again there, going underneath. It looks like he can make that work. Christian Pittman is still in the lead, but he has lost most of his advantage. And it looks like Dalton Williamson is starting to put pressure on Trevor Edwards. You can see how fast he was going into the turn, and then he started sliding on the middle there as Edwards tried to pin him down. That really worked for Edwards because Williamson lost a little bit of momentum there. Jason Day behind Williamson, keeping up as well. We have about a second down to Brad Ringer and Timothy Trowbridge, Zach Murphy in the next group. There you have him. We see Rex Hoyle coming down pit road. What has been the deal with him? Lap number 72. It doesn't look like there's much action going on there. Did he call it a night? I'm not sure. Christian Pittman still hanging on to that lead. Very strong run here tonight. Trevor Edwards. It looks like he is starting to build up the pressure a little bit. Williamson has dropped back 4/10 of a second, trying to recover from that little slide. These cars, folks, don't have all that much power compared to some of the bigger cars, so once you start sliding, it is not just a matter of hitting the gas and getting back what you lost. You have to smooth things out. It looks like Edwards is starting to get racy with Pittman here on lap number 74, and he does the same thing Dalton does. He goes in deep, he slides a little bit going off the turn in the middle of the turn, and he loses that momentum that way. Dalton is trying to pull the same stunt on him again. Looks like he is staying a little bit closer now. Nope, has to slot in behind him. Edwards trying to catch back up with Pittman. And let's go back to AJ Rogers. He has lost a little bit of time there. It looks like Zach Murphy is still working on Brad Ringer, going to the inside once again. Way down low on the apron, and let's see how that comes out. He's actually ahead of the 76, but the 76 has more speed to carry off the high side, so it really doesn't work. Pittman is still hanging on to the lead. Edwards is still in second. Williamson trying to hang on there. He is not really able to put enough pressure on Edwards at this point. Edwards is closing back in on Pittman. And we're keeping an eye on Zach Murphy there as well. He is way down on that bottom again. Tried it again. Has to slot back in Brad Ringer there once again. AJ Rogers is waiting in the, I guess you could say, waiting in the waiting room for anything that those guys drop off. He'll pick it right up. Ooh, there comes Zach Murphy right on the bumper of the 76. And now he gets underneath. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle. Can he stay on the bottom there? He's trying to stay a little bit higher, and he can't keep that momentum up. Ooh, he had to get out of that one. And Pittman still hanging on to that lead. Ooh, Trowbridge gets it wrong. Trowbridge gets it wrong. Let's bring that back for you. Yep, that brings out the caution. Obviously, he is on the race surface there. Let's bring that back a little bit further. This is the replay of the number 74, Timothy Trowbridge. He gets into the turn. He loses the back end. Are the tires given away? And luckily, he doesn't hit anything. Then he backs it up onto the racing line. That brings out the yellow. Tanner, any word from Timothy Trowbridge?
Not much from him, but I actually can say kudos. I caught that one, so I seen it. He just looked like he got loose, man. I think once you heat up that right rear, if you notice, these drivers are sliding in on entry a whole lot, and I think he just bit off more than he could chew right then, Mark. But we actually got the race leader right now, Pittman, up in the booth. You got a copy. This is Tanner and Mark in the booth.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
So we've seen you out front for the last 20 or so laps ever since the competition caution. You actually checked out pretty good on the field to about a half-second lead, which is pretty good for this league. How are you feeling about your chances now, though?
The right rear's burnt up real bad. Car's not handling good, but I'm worried about them coming down pit road and getting fresh tires.
Well, in this series, I know you're new here, so I'll give you a pro tip. They only had that one set in there, and I think mostly everybody took theirs right whenever the competition came out, and a couple took it before the competition caution. So I'll get you back to the race room, and I'll tell you best of luck, and maybe we'll be here talking to you at the end of the race, buddy. Good luck.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. Mark, we'll send it back to you. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Tanner. That's cool to hear from Christian. Obviously, he knows that the pressure is going to be mounting here. We're on lap 84 at this point, so we're getting closer towards the finish of the race, and he knows that he is going to have a hard time with Trevor Edwards, Dalton Williamson, Jason Day, Zach Murphy, all of them pushing hard behind him. You heard him say the right rear is burning up. What you see a lot of these guys do is when they come down low, they start sliding going into the turn, and sometimes when the car on the high side is coming down to pinch him down a little bit, they have to steer in extra, and they slide that back end a little bit to scrub away some speed, not to run into that guy on the higher side, and that's what he's talking about. Although he himself is not coming down as low as some of the others, obviously he's dealing with high speed on that higher line. That right rear tire and that right front tire are taking a beating here at the Irwindale Speedway here in California.
Mark, I just want to butt in real quick.
Yes, sir.
We decided to go back double file for this restart, and Christian, being the leader, he had lane choice. He chose the top. 32 knows he cannot beat Christian to the line. If he beats him to the start-finish line on this restart, he will receive an EOL. We'll send it back to you and let you call these last 15 or so laps.
Thank you very much, Tanner. So there you have it. Christian Pittman takes the high side. Obviously, that is the preferred line at this point. Trevor cannot beat him to the line. You heard Tanner explain it, so they have to be a little bit careful on that restart. There we go. Pittman has a really good start on that high side, and he pulls away a couple of cars. Oh, we have a major crash back there, and it looks like Zach Murphy is there taking a beating. Let's see what happened here. Oh, Zach hits that divider wall there really, really hard. It looked to me, if I see this correctly from a distance, it looked to me like Zach was coming up a little bit there. Let's see if we can bring that back a little bit better for you. That is not the right angle. Let's try the blimp. This is the restart. The 29. Keep an eye on the 29. The 29 is coming up just a notch to try and arc the next turn, and he is not aware of the 54 being there, and then he gets turned around by the car on the outside, the 54, I believe that was, of Rex Hoyle, and that makes him hit that divider wall really, really hard. So any word from Zach there, Tanner?
No, that's one of the, I just went across race control and told them that's one of the hardest crashes I've ever seen on iRacing. I mean, that was a pretty hard lick. Zach Murphy, he decided just to call it a night after that. I guess he was pretty frustrated. We got Trevor Edwards. I decided to bring him up in the booth since we heard from the leader. I wanted to hear from second place. Trevor, this is Tanner and Mark in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, bud.
So with Christian saying he's taking the top, we both just heard that. How you liking your chances right here? I've seen you've been reeling him in.
If we if we go to the end, I think we'll be all right. Problem is, he can fire off really well, and he gets such a huge jump through 1 and 2 that it takes a lap to get back to him. So, as long as we go green to the end, we get a shot here.
Yeah, with him taking the top, you got to be so cautious not to beat him to the line. So that's the best thing he can do as a leader right now. We'll get you sent back to your race team, and maybe we'll be talking to you at the end, buddy. Mark, we'll send it back to you. Thank you.
Hopefully.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Thank you, Tanner. We've seen Zach leave the race. Indeed, he did indeed get a pretty hard hit there on that divider wall there. I'm sure the car is not straight anymore after that, and he decided to call it a night. Frustration kicking in. Obviously, that is understandable. We're all humans. All right. We are once again ready to go racing. Going into lap number 83, so we have 8 more laps to go to the finish. Christian Pittman is on the high side. He gets to make the call of when to go. Trevor Edwards says, if we have a green to the finish, we have a good chance. If not, it's going to be difficult because on the restarts, it takes him a lap to get closer to Pittman. That's what you heard him say. So there we go. Pittman is on the gas. It looks like Trevor has a pretty good response. He is not fallen back more than a car length there. He is in second place. He is right on the tail of Christian Pittman there. Right behind him, it is Dalton Williamson and Jason Day. Then it's AJ Rogers, Trevor Vogel, Frank Barbary has made up quite a bit of positions in this race. He is now being passed by Timothy Trowbridge. Ooh, 3 wide, and Trowbridge goes around. Oh my goodness. And we are not yet going yellow. That is very surprising. He is going around, and he is at that point also losing his connection, and that is the reason we are not going yellow, because there is no obstruction of the race line. That's good news for Trevor Edwards. He's still working really hard on Pittman there, trying the bottom line once again, trying to get underneath. Pittman is really working well on that high side, comes off the turn better, and still has the lead with only 5 laps to go here, and now it looks like Trevor is washing up a little bit higher than he wanted to be. Dalton Williamson coming underneath here as well, trying to get himself into this fight here. It looks like Pittman is defending really, really well here. Ooh, now it's Edwards back on the bottom again. Can Pittman hold on here? He's got a good run, and they give each other the room to race. This is what we like to see, folks. This is awesome stuff. Trevor Edwards once again trying the bottom. Pittman coming back around on the higher side. He still has it. Oh, I can't talk. Lap number 98. We've got 3 laps to go. Oh, whoa. Dalton and Trevor get into each other there, fighting for the second position. Dalton is trying to get a piece of all of this, and he is getting under the 32 of Trevor Edwards there. Pittman is still in the lead. Dalton goes for the lower side, washes up, has to get out of the gas there, not to run into Trevor. Pittman still has it. He's going to see the white flag coming by this time around. He still has the lead, only barely. Trevor Edwards, second position. White flag is out. He's trying once again, going down to the bottom there. Can he hold on to it? Pittman is still ahead. Now on the final turn, can Trevor get it done here? Ooh, both of them slip sliding a little bit, and it looks like Pittman noses it ahead there, trying to pinch Trevor down. What a finish, folks. This is great, great, great stuff. Let's bring that back for you in the replay. The final turns here, the final lap in the replay here. Look at that. Trevor Edwards on the bottom, trying his very best to stay alongside that number 8 car. And the number 8 car can hold that momentum on the higher side. Here it looks like the back end slides a little bit. They do touch there, coming down towards the finish line. But he definitely had him on speed there. Christian Pittman wins here in Irwindale, California. Trevor Edwards is second, and Dalton Williamson is in third position. There they have them all lined up there at the finish line. Let's give the winner his moment of joy here. Christian Pittman, very, very strong run here. He was in the lead since the competition caution, and he never, ever gave it up. Very, very strong run here, man. Oh, that was awesome racing. He can actually make it go backwards, too. That's kind of interesting here. All right, let's talk to Dalton here first. Dalton, third place finish for you. It looked like you were trying to get into that fight there at the end. It looked like Trevor and you had a slight touch there. How did it go there?
Well, now that I'm done almost having a seizure from my heart pumping so fast, yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know, that was probably the most fun I've had on here in quite some time, you know, and it was clean between the three of us. I think, well, it was a fixed setup, but I think tire-wise, I think we were all pretty equal. I mean, it was definitely a blast. I don't mind a rubbing or, you know, any of that stuff. That was a blast, clean racing, hard racing. It was fun.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not trying to say anybody did anything bad there. You guys were just fighting hard for position, and it looked like both of you were slip sliding somewhat there, and that caused you guys to rub a little bit there. How were the tires? Were you in trouble, or was it still pretty good?
To be honest, I mean, maybe Trevor and Christian, they can answer it too. I think we were focused so hard on driving and racing each other that we really didn't even really pay attention to the tires, to be honest.
I hear you, man. This was an awesome finale for this race. It looked like Timothy Trowbridge almost threw us a yellow there, but I think his connection disconnected at the moment he came to a standstill, and that kept the racing line unobstructed. So you guys got to fight for it, and it was awesome to see you trying to go in there as well. You guys are sometimes diving way down low on that apron there, trying to get a run on somebody, and every time it looks like the entry is going to gain you something, and the exit is going to make you basically pay for that. Did I see that right?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely not the setup, man. It's all just driver. It's all in the throttle. I mean, like I said from the get-go, man, this setup tonight was fantastic. Probably one of the best I've ever driven around here, even on the team set side of things that I've had in my lifetime. It was a blast to drive, but yeah, for sure, man. It was definitely more a driver than anything.
All right. Well, again, Dalton, third place is a good place to be at the end of a race, especially when it's this close. So congratulations, my friend. It's time for your shout-outs, buddy.
Like I said, you know, Reb Esports, Platinum RV, BK Paints, all the guys in here, Trevor, Christian, good race tonight, guys. That was a blast. All the admin, all the guys in here that I run with every week, man, it's a blast. My parents for watching tonight. Other than that, not too much. You for broadcasting, but other than that, not too much.
All right. Thanks very much, Dalton. And go celebrate, my friend. Go get yourself something to drink and settle down, because it looks like you're out of breath.
You one of those. I'm a little dehydrated right now.
All right, I believe you, man. All right, Trevor, it's on to you, my friend. Compliments on the setup. This is most certainly one of the best races in recent weeks that we've seen in this series. I think the track helped a little bit. It's a very suitable track. You gave the guys an extremely great setup. They could race all kinds of lines, and so could you. Talk us through those final stages there. You said right before we went green, you already said if we go green to the end, I might have something. You got pretty close.
Yeah, Christian was a rocket the first 2 laps of a run. It seemed like he'd pull it, and they would take 2 or 3 laps to get back to him. And then it was, I think I had a little bit more drive off because I saved. There was that one really long run we had. I saved for like probably first 10 laps, let him get out, I don't know, 6/10 or something, and then decided I was going to run up there and try to pressure him a little bit to burn his right rear off. And if we'd had 2 more laps, I think I would have got him. But that's one of the most fun races I've ever had on iRacing.
Absolutely. You're not the only one saying that, my friend. So are we. This was absolutely phenomenal. It looked like there was a little slight touch there coming off the final turn. Were you guys both slip sliding around a little bit there?
And his last lap, last corner, you can't lift. I would expect him to. I mean, if we touch, it's going to slow both of us down probably anyways. But it was worth a shot at it. So I knew he was going to have the good run. And I wanted to throw a lot harder slider. I was hoping he was going a little bit higher. But he chased me down the hill into 3, so I had to turn in, and I just wasn't ready for it.
I hear you. So he kind of pinched you down there.
He knew what I was throwing. He knew I was going to go down to the apron if I could.
All right. Well, Trevor, once again, man, compliments on the setup. We sure appreciate your involvement in all that, especially if you give the guys something they can race with like this. You just please keep going at it, my friend. That is awesome stuff.
Yeah, hopefully every week is like this. Like I said, I tried to make the setups fast, but where they can actually race each other in a fixed race like this, and then If you need any setup needs at all, we cover every car, even dirt, asphalt, everything over at McConey Setup Shop.
All right. Well, Trevor, thank you very much for that. We enjoyed seeing your race here quite well. It was absolutely awesome, that final stint there. Congratulations once again. Any shout outs you want to do?
Like I said, McConey Setup Shop, I got to thank Tyler Shattuck for being up in the spotter stand tonight. That was a lot of fun. He didn't even remind me to breathe the last 5 laps, so I blame it on him. And then I got to thank Sin City Pilot Cars.
All right. Thank you very much, Trevor. Go get yourself some fluids, my friend, and time to settle back down.
Thanks, man. Thanks for broadcasting for us.
You betcha. All right, that brings us on to the man of the night here, Christian. You took the lead at the competition caution. You walked away a little bit. We just heard Trevor say he was trying to save his stuff a little bit more. What was your mindset at that point? Were you ready to save a little bit as well? What did you have left at the end?
When we came back from that competition caution, I just dropped the hammer and went as hard as I could to try to figure out how bad the tires would wear or if they would kind of stay the same. And then we got those 2 quick cautions, and I realized I had burned up my right rear pretty bad. But coming back with 10 to go, I knew if I hugged the top like Kyle Larson, I could probably hang on. And then he dropped down to the bottom coming into turn 3, and I knew if I went down there with him and pinched him a little bit, he wouldn't get that little slide job effect coming off of 4. But the tires, they had it up pretty good. But last 15 laps, boy, I was fighting a wicked loose car.
Yeah, it didn't actually show all that much because I saw you wiggling around a little bit here and there, but I mean, it didn't look like you were really very loose. But yeah, you already said that you told Tanner in that during that caution that you were a little bit worried about that right rear there. The final lap was absolutely a blast, my friend. You pinched him down a little bit there. You guys had a little bit of a touch there coming off of the final turn, but you definitely had a lot more speed coming off that high line there.
Yeah, that top line was working pretty good for me all night. At the beginning of the race, I dropped down to the bottom to see if I could pick up some speed there, and I was making some decent passes. But when we had that caution on lap 20, I got new tires, and I realized that my right rear was rearing a lot more than I thought. So I kind of tried to stick back to the top. But that bottom groove was quick the first 10, 15 laps of a run, and then you kind of wanted to hang the top almost if you were racing on dirt.
I hear you. So, Christian, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but you're fairly new to the Crooked Line Racing League, and is this your first SK Modified race with us?
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've ever driven these cars on iRacing. I've always stayed away from them. Didn't really enjoy them. I've tested them some, and then talked to Tanner this afternoon, and I said, hey, man, let me just come in there and see what I could do, and heck, we won the thing.
That's a pretty good start. I'm thinking you're liking these cars a little bit better now.
Oh, yeah, I definitely will be here every Tuesday night.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Christian, that is a phenomenal way to start your career, let's call it that, with the Crooked Line Racing League. As you can tell, there's some really good racing going on here. Obviously, we have our incidents, but I think tonight was a prime example of what we want to see here in this series. And you made it. You made a heck of a show here together with Trevor and Dalton, my friend. So hats off to you. That was a perfect start of your season here.
Yes, sir. I was very proud. I actually was 13th quickest in practice, and I was slow, and I qualified 6th, and I was looking for a top 3, and then once that green flag dropped, I kind of realized, wow, car was a rocket ship. But that's obviously thanks to Trevor for that setup he gave us. You could definitely race with it.
Absolutely, and don't forget that you may be 13th in either practice or whatever, but it doesn't say all that much, because I mean, if you look at the first 13 qualifying times, they are within 0.6 of a second. So that kind of tells you that it's once you start racing, anything can happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's kind of a roll of the dice when you come run these races with a fixed setup. To me, fixed setup races come off of more of who can wheel the setup the best or who's got the most talent at the track. And I didn't really think we were going to win, but I mean, I guess just the good Lord wanted us to win tonight.
Well, that makes me want to know what do you race normally? What is your more regular kind of stuff that you're doing?
Yes, sir. I really joined the league just to run the super late models, and then I saw there was a race tonight when I got home, and I thought, man, I might as well just try it, and see what we could do. And it was an absolute blast. I enjoyed racing with Dalton and Trevor. That was probably one, if not the funnest race I've had on iRacing in a long, long time.
Absolutely. Well, we second that from our standpoint as well. Christian, once again, my friend, congratulations. Go celebrate, go get something to drink, and try to wind down a little bit before you go to bed because I'm sure you're pretty excited there.
Yes, sir. And I'd also like to thank my grandparents for watching the race tonight. Me, myself, and I, of course, for getting the win. And thank you for broadcasting. It means a lot.
You betcha. Anybody you forgot?
Yeah, I can't forget my dad and my girlfriend.
I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun at home there with your friends and your family. So have a good time, and we'll talk to each other in January again at USA Speedway. For now, folks, that will do it for tonight here at the Urbandale Speedway at the east side of Los Angeles, California. It's been a phenomenal race. This is exactly why we love this series. These guys have done a phenomenal job racing each other clean and hard. Obviously, we've had a few mishaps here and there, but that's just part of the game as well. I'm sorry, that's part of the simulation. We don't use the word game anymore, especially not after a night like this, Tanner. We cannot call this a game. This is serious stuff, and I think everybody in the field here did an absolute great job giving us a wonderful show, and I'm sure people may have heard that in my voice a little bit. I was going over to the top there at the final part of the race there. That was some phenomenal racing. Absolutely out of this world. So we hope to bring some more of that in come January in the new year, and we hope to see you all back again for that. Until then, folks, stay healthy, take care of one another, enjoy the holidays, and best wishes for the new year. We'll see you then.
See you guys.